Welcome to today's video. Today I am going to go over the basics of intermittent fasting. For some of you, this is going to be a little refresher or maybe a little bit of something that's going to jar you back into fasting if maybe you have stepped away. If you're new to fasting, my goal is to clear some things up and really make this lifestyle simple and attractive for you. My name is Diane Parham. I am the creator of the online course and community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. It is a course where we do approach intermittent fasting from the mindset approach. Why is it we are seeking out something better for ourselves, and why is it that we want to end whatever it is we feel like we're suffering with? As always, information about jumping into our next course will be included down below, and I will also include the information here for you if you are interested in getting on my email list. So let me know in the comment section, are you new and curious about intermittent fasting? Are you a in and out intermittent faster, or what we like to call ebbing and flowing with this lifestyle? Have you had success with intermittent fasting in the past and have stepped away? Let's go down to the basics of what intermittent fasting is. So the intermittent part of intermittent fasting is really the separator or the designator of this lifestyle. We are intermittently fasting or putting ourselves in a situation where we're consciously making decisions to not interrupt our hormonal or chemical body makeup and the natural course that our body goes through in a day. And then we are picking a window that we are going to choose to feast. A lot of the frustration with intermittent fasting comes when those two windows are actually merged together and we are actually feasting when we should be fasting, and then we have this fear about what to do with our food in our feasting window. And again, that just comes from a lot of information that's available on the internet today. It comes from our own mindset or fears or inhibitions we have about food or going without food or how it is we want to fuel our body. And this is why we talk about it from the mindset approach here. What I have found with women specifically, and I think this is because of the diet approach that we all grew up in and designating food as good and bad and using food as a punisher or a reward or a soother or a therapist, we really have an unhealthy relationship with how to use food in our life. And so what I have found as a coach and a teacher with intermittent fasting in this community is that when we practice an intermittent fasting lifestyle, meaning we're taking a period of our day where we're choosing to purposely put our body in a fasted state, and then we're consciously picking a window in our day that we're going to feast our body or refuel it with nutrients, we are actually removing the problem that so many of us have with our weight and our health and our energy and our self-image and our self-love and all of the things that drive us to live a really happy and healthy life. Is we get to remove the problem, and the problem is often food or the desire and or emotional need that we have or thought that we have that we need to be eating all day. So the first thing we want to do is designate those fasting windows and those feasting windows. There are some basic protocols that we can follow that really help us designate fasting and feasting windows within our day, and that really does make it a lot simpler for us to just step into this lifestyle because the windows are already pre-designed for us. So you might have heard of OMAD or 1 meal a day. That is when we eat literally one time a day. And when I say eat, I mean we're only going to interrupt our body's hormonal and chemical response to things going into it one time a day. It's generally about an hour. So that would be a 23-hour fast with a 1-hour window designated to feast or replenish your body with new nutrients. 1 meal a day is a very common intermittent fasting approach. A lot of people thrive in a 1 meal a day type of environment. And so it's not anything that is considered restrictive or intense or extreme. If that is something that you thrive in, I say keep thriving. Do what works for you. But that is probably the top end of intermittent fasting as far as what the fasting window would be, and that would be that 23 hours. Then the next most common intermittent fasting protocol window would be the 24, meaning you're fasting for 20 hours and you're feasting for 4. That is the protocol that I like to teach inside the intermittent fasting course, and the protocol that I use to reverse so many of the things that I was suffering with as I was transitioning through menopausal seasons. The 20-hour fast is really a great way to build in what I call food discipline. When we're practicing a 20-hour fast, the goal is to fast clean, again, making sure that we're not putting anything in our fasting window that would let our brain or body chemistry believe that we're actually feasting. So black coffee, black tea, or water, nothing with flavors in it, nothing that's going to signal our brain to start the digestive process. And then we're going to feast for 4 hours. When we feast, we want to make sure we're feasting to support our future self. So we make food choices that's going to allow us to look and feel our best on the next day. We don't want to open up our feasting window and feast because we just fasted. So we don't want to have that reward mentality of, I just put myself in a fasted state for 20 hours. Now I'm going to reward myself and eat all those things that I denied myself when I was fasting. Everything that we do is for the future of ourself and our health. So that's the 24. Fast for 20, feast for 4. It is another very common fasting protocol, and it does allow for a very authentic life, meaning you can reap all the benefits of that 20 hours in a fasted state. And for a lot of women who are suffering through some body changes or health changes with menopause, that 20-hour window is the sweet spot to reverse a lot of insulin problems that arise when estrogen levels change. It helps with a lot of the uncomfortable side effects of being in menopause or transitioning through menopause. And it also is very healing on the mental and emotional side with food as well. It helps you really develop an empowered state while you're fasting, and allows you to realize that you can actually go without food, and food is not the tool that you need to manage your life. You purposely put yourself in that fasted state and then make very conscious decisions about your food in your 4-hour feasting window. The next protocol that's really common is the 18-6. That does just give you a little bit more flexibility in the feasting window, and can be a protocol that you dip in and out of if you have some social obligations, or maybe you're going on vacation, or you just want to have a larger feasting window. And then the last really common fasting protocol is the 16-8. This is one that I'm dabbling in a little bit more in my life right now, as I am really leaning into more of my fitness lifestyle. All of the things that I was suffering from as a postmenopausal woman have been settled. So I'm really fasting as a lifestyle, meaning I'm not really trying to reverse anything. I'm just maintaining. And I am really putting a lot of effort into my fitness. So I am allowing a little bit larger window for my feasting or refueling for my fitness expectations, and then allowing myself that ample amount of fasting as well. And so I'm really ebbing and flowing between the 16-8, the 18-6, and the 24. So if you're a woman who is very active, maybe you're a marathon runner or you're a pickleball player, and you are spending an hour or more in your fitness routine, and you feel like you might need a little bit more of that refueling with your nutrients and a feasting window, this is where I say flexibility between the 24 and the 16-8 might be a sweet spot for you as well. So the biggest benefit with intermittent fasting, if you're going to approach it from the nutritional or the scientific side of things, is the opportunity for our body to reach a level of autophagy. And autophagy is just when our body is in a self-healing state, meaning we have given it ample amount of time to take in, digest, and put away the nutrients that we have just put in it. So when we're in these longer fasted states, we do have this opportunity to reach these levels of autophagy. And this is where that 20-hour fast is so beneficial for so many women who are transitioning through the seasons of menopause. We've just been around longer. We have more opportunity for things in our body to not be functioning optimally. It's just a time thing. And so this is again where time in a fasted state can really be our best friend. So when we're in a state of autophagy, our body has the opportunity to go inward to find energy. And the energy that our body finds in a state of autophagy are things that are damaged cellularly. Oftentimes our body can go in and find protein that's not useful for us anymore and utilize that as a source of energy. And then what happens is our body recycles what is still usable and puts it back into our system. This is where the anti-aging aspect of intermittent fasting is really beneficial as well. You get a chance to recycle things that weren't working for you optimally and get them cleaned up and then put them back in your system. So I'm a 58-year-old postmenopausal woman who used to be pre-diabetic, had major insulin problems, had osteopenia that was on the verge of becoming osteoporosis, and had high cholesterol despite the fact that I exercised and ate a very healthy nutritional lifestyle. It was just because of where I was in the season of life that I was in. I'm sitting here today being able to tell you that all of that has been reversed, and I do believe it is because of this lifestyle that I have incorporated into my life over the past 7 or 8 years. Now, I am not a doctor, so I can't guarantee that you are going to reap the same health benefits, but if you aren't fasting and you are finding that you are picking up some health conditions that you're not happy with, I always recommend just giving intermittent fasting a try and see if autophagy can do for you what autophagy has been proven to do through scientific research. It's worth a try. So again, intermittent fasting has those health benefits we know from scientific research and even from anecdotal evidence of women or people in general who have practiced intermittent fasting and are sharing all the health benefits that they have received by just changing some things in their lifestyle, more specifically when they eat. But there are some other hidden benefits as well, and this is where I like to coach on intermittent fasting here in our community. There is something that is absolutely magical for women, and I say this because I am a woman and so I have no other reference point to speak from, but for women who can sit in a state of hungry and feel energized and empowered, it is the most freeing feeling you will ever experience. When you can manage your life emotionally and mentally without having to walk into the kitchen and grab a snack or have wine to settle down at the end of the night, or when you can get through an event where you feel like life is happening to you and you don't cause yourself any harm because now you're overeating and eating poor things to satisfy emotional feelings that you don't know how to fix any other way. When you have this tool of intermittent fasting and you can fast your way through life's situations and you can really change your mindset to life is happening for me, and I have the skills to manage these life situations without mucking up my life with food or over consuming things that are just gonna squash the feelings down and maybe make me feel like I don't have to deal with them. That is magical and that is powerful for women. And that is the benefit that I see so many women having with intermittent fasting and having this as their lifestyle. We come in thinking we want to lose weight, or we come in thinking that we want to reverse something as a health condition, and those things will happen. The underlying benefit that so many people don't talk about is the emotional and mental healing that takes place for a woman when she feels empowered in a state of hungry. So intermittent fasting creates these almost invisible benefits that I say a lot of people don't talk about because they're not the thing that we really measure when we approach something like intermittent fasting, because it is something that's tied to nutrition, or it is something that's tied to losing weight, or it is tied to something that we use to lose body fat or change our overall physical appearance. So I want to share with you some of the benefits that I think should be talked about more, and a lot of these benefits are what women have shared with me that they have gained through going through the intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course. One of these benefits is creating a belief for yourself that you can in fact go several hours throughout your day without needing food. And again, this is the most powerful part. When you have this internal energy that's being produced by your body consuming all the things that you're unhappy with, loss of energy, brain fog, body fat accumulation, yes, the weight gain, or maybe some of these pesky little medical things that creep up just simply because we're aging? What if you believe that just putting yourself in this advantageous window of not consuming anything can be the thing that you need to heal your own body? That's powerful, not to mention easy and very cost effective. The other benefit that intermittent fasting provides for us, especially when we are fasting clean, is the internal energy source. Like I said, when we're in a fasted state, especially that clean fasted state, and we start entering those stages of autophagy, this internal source of energy starts being created. So if you've ever been on a coffee binge or a sugar binge and you get that sudden burst of energy, but then you crash as soon as it starts to wear off. Well, when you're in a fasted state and you start to create this internal sense of energy because your body is going inward and using the storage that's been accumulating as an energy source for you, there's this abundance of energy. And unlike the coffee binging or the sugar binging, it's sustained. So you can sustain this energy source for the entire time you're fasting. And it just gets better the more efficient you become at it and the longer you fast. We call that the energized sense of calm. You don't have the sugar highs and lows. You don't have the emotions that goes with feeling like you're hypoglycemic. It is a constant source of energy that's leveled out, and emotionally you feel supported. As someone who used to be a hypoglycemic, I never thought that I could fast for 20 hours, especially clean. But as soon as I got a taste of that energized sense of calm, that 20-hour clean fast is the thing that I always reach to when I need that energy, especially when I need that clean energy. So we talked a little bit about autophagy as well. And when we're in these longer fasts or we're fasting consistently over time, autophagy is just one of those things that happens because your body has the opportunity to tap into storage. You're creating that opportunity. It's amazing the healing that has happened in fasted states for so many women. Mystery rashes have disappeared. Skin tags go away. Pesky lines and wrinkles on your face tend to start minimizing. Your hair will grow faster. Your nails will be stronger. Your skin will seem smoother and more supple. Your brain will start to come back and start to function the way you want it to. The brain fog will go away. Your sleep will get better. Your mood will be more balanced out. Like I said, no more of these highs and lows from energy dips. You will have that sustained energy throughout your day. The way you see and use food also changes because your body is going to change what it's craving based off what it's getting from the inside. So a lot of those food cravings and food addictions just naturally go away because your body is finding the nutrients it needs on the inside, and you won't have the desire to eat some of the foods that were causing the problems in the first place. It's absolutely amazing what happens to our brain when we get out of the way and we let our brain do what it has been designed to do. And our brain has really been designed to regulate our body, and our body has been designed to keep us alive and healthy. We get in the way by making uninformed decisions for ourselves. So the less decisions you have to make, the less probability there is that you're going to make one that's not going to serve you. And again, this is where that 20-hour fast that I like to teach has been most beneficial. So intermittent fasting is a lifestyle that we choose to live where we have a window where we fast and allow our body the opportunity to heal and balance itself out. And we create a window where we get to feast. We get to decide what foods we want to choose to eat in our feasting window based on how it is we want to feel and look tomorrow. That subtle little change in your mindset about thinking about the future will change everything with the decision process you're making in your feasting window. And trust me, it makes it so much easier. You will begin to look at food and just shake your head and say, no way, I know that thing's not going to make me feel good, or it might not make you look good. Those are the things that we tend to just naturally start avoiding. So in the beginning, I asked you, are you new to fasting? Are you curious about fasting? Have you been fasting and found some success? Have you been fasting but life has happened to you and you stepped away and you want to come back? The best advice I can give all of you as a group is just make it simple. If it doesn't feel natural, or it feels super complicated, or there's all these rules that are attached to what it is you're trying to incorporate into your lifestyle, you're making it too hard for yourself. Pick a window that you want to fast. Make sure that that fast is going to be the most beneficial for you, and that is a clean fast. And then open up your feasting window when you have decided the fast that you chose is long enough to get you what it is that you say that you really want. I highly recommend jumping into that 20-hour fast as the way to get the best and the fastest results, and then feast for your tomorrows. Look, we're all aging, but how we age is up to us. We get to make informed choices for how we want to look and feel, and how happy and healthy we want our life to be. If you want it to be simplified, and if you want it to be inexpensive, the best approach to that, in my opinion, is an intermittent fasting lifestyle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you have your own story about intermittent fasting that you would like to share with our community to encourage someone who might be a little bit hesitant or a little bit weary about jumping into an intermittent fasting lifestyle, please feel free to leave your story as well. I'm the coach, and I can tell stories all day about women in our community or my own personal experience with intermittent fasting. But when we get our community of women sharing their stories, it's powerful, and you have an opportunity as the woman sharing to pay it forward to someone else. Thanks so much for jumping into today's video. I hope this has made you feel at ease about intermittent fasting. I hope it has brought you back to intermittent fasting if you have stepped away, and I hope it has given you the courage to jump in if maybe you've been looking around and you weren't quite sure if this is going to work for you or not. You get to make the rules, you ultimately get to make the decisions, and I always recommend, if you are not happy with how things are going for you today, look into something that might give you the opportunity to be happy.